What is your relationship with time? Are you wired and tired, stressed and overwhelmed, busy and going nowhere? Or just want to scale your business? Welcome to Take Back Time with your host, Penny Zenker. Penny focuses on books, strategies, tools, and tips to help you work smarter and approach your time more strategically. As a result, you can have more energy, focus, and get more done in less time. Be more efficient and effective. Get ready to take back time.
Hello, and welcome to Take Back Time. My name is Penny Zenker, and I'm your host. And so today we're going to talk about sales magic. There's got to be magic in sales, right? Because, well, when you're selling, there's got to be magic to create that connection with somebody who's buying. So today we're talking to Victoria Buckmann, and she has over 30 years of sales success, and she loves to create sales magic. And she has created a successful corporate career for herself with a Fortune 100 company, achieving 1,000% of quota month after month and year after year. She is a certified dream coach, a higher guidance business coach, a former premier success coach of the eWomenNetwork, also a hypnotherapist and an intuitive. So it's the in and out game. With coaching, training, and sales experience, she brings a wealth of knowledge and inspiration to those who want to learn the inside secrets of sales. And so without further ado, Victoria, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Penny. So glad to be here.
So what do you think is so magic about the sales process?
What I think is so magic about the sales process is that we get to connect with people. We get to make a new friend, find out what their dream and vision is, and help them achieve that. That's magical.
It is magical. When you have something that someone else wants and you can make that connection, that can be magical, right? So where's the trouble? Where do salespeople have the biggest challenge?
The biggest challenge that people have is they don't really recognize that they lead with their energy first. We're energy beings. You have a EKG, you have an EEG, right? We're energy beings. And when we have this emotion of fear or desperation or anxiety, anxious, that comes across long before we ever say a word.
It totally does. You know what's funny is I just did a keynote yesterday to an organization that was full of veterinarians and whatnot. So to make that point, right, I said that there's a thing that dogs can smell fear, right? Okay, they can't really smell it. We can't smell someone else's fear, but we can totally feel it. Just like that dog knows when somebody is apprehensive and then they react, their energy changes accordingly, right?
Exactly. We are the same way. How many times have you walked into a room and there's no one in the room, but you know that somebody had a heated fight in that room 10 minutes before? You can feel the energy in that room and it's still lingering. So when we show up with this fear or anxiety or this desperation, I've got to get a client or I've got to pay my mortgage, whatever it might be, that energy is going to show up. The other party, the person who you're speaking to, you're going to feel it. They may not know, they may not pinpoint it and know exactly what that energy is, but they're going to go, something's not right. This doesn't feel good. Something's off.
Right. And it's going to affect their energy and it's going to affect the experience that they're having in that conversation.
Exactly.
So I want to go back to the point you talked about desperation. So many people, right, they're goal-oriented. And what they don't realize is that they're a little too goal-oriented, is that it creates then an obsession and obsessive behavior towards a goal becomes more of that desperate energy, right? It becomes more of a scarcity than it does in terms of a motor towards that goal.
Yes.
So what would you say, how does somebody handle that? So like, that's maybe the way that I'm showing up in my sales process. And of course, how would I know that? I'm probably not getting the results that I want, right? And people are not buying from me. So how do I shift that?
The fastest and easiest way to shift that is to think about something that you're passionate about, someone that you love. You were talking about the veterinarians. think of an animal or a baby, or just go into really deep gratitude. What do you have gratitude for? And that will shift your energy so fast. And it's palpable. It really is.
Totally. I also recommend gratitude as a place to go into, right? Because you can always find something that you're grateful for, whether it's nature, whether it's, like you said, an animal. You go watch a cat video, right? Oh, this is a perfect time to watch a cat video right before you go on a sales call.
Yes. Well, think about something that you did in your life that just excited you, and it was so much fun, and it was just, you have this memory, and you're just so grateful for having that experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think also it's really important to connect to what is your drive, like your purpose, not a goal, but something that you're excited about being a part of. So hopefully, whatever this person, if I'm in sales, that I'm selling something that isn't just a product. How is this going to enhance someone's life and really get connected to the value that it provides? So if I'm I'm selling houses, for instance, I could look at it as though I'm building communities and that I'm creating happy families because they have a place to live and to call their own and to be comfortable in. So it can be a different focus by focusing on what the other person is gaining than just I'm making the sale.
Yes. And not only building communities, you are providing somebody with a home. It has a whole different feel than I'm selling a house.
Totally.
Right? Even just the word. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So just stop talking about selling.
Yes. Yeah.
That's a good point right there, right?
Well, even the word sales, it's gotten a bad rap. And for women, we think that we're not good at that, or we don't know how to do it because of all the reasons, all the things that we've heard. We don't want to be pushy. We don't want to be aggressive. We don't want to be salesy. That's a whole new word. What does that mean? Salesy.
Right. Oh, yeah, exactly. Right. That in itself is describing that energy that you're talking about that people don't want to feel.
Exactly. Yeah.
So absolutely a good point. So we're helping people on this show, right? We're talking about how we help people to be more strategic so they can take back time. They can do things more efficiently and effectively. Now, let's put that into what that means in terms of the sales process. So what kind of result will someone get when they can shift the energy that they're bringing to a conversation?
They can double and triple their sales. Period.
Double and triple their sales. And could they do it faster, or does it take just as long?
They can do it. If you are coming from the right energy, your own energy of gratitude, and you add to that your energy of, I want to be of service to this person in front of me. I want to find out what do they dream about, and I want to help them either reach their dream or get this much closer to their dream. That's that value that you talked about. When you can help somebody get what it is that they dream about, you're putting your own agenda aside. You've left your agenda. You're there to serve them. They are going to come closer to you, if not physically, and that shortens up the whole time frame of how you create trust and likability and the whole know, like, and trust factor, right?
Totally. Speed to trust, but it's going to shorten the sales cycle. If we can optimize and improve our conversations, we don't have to have as many of them. So that in itself, right, is an efficient and effective process. And it really does. I totally believe it. It comes with the energy that you show up. And it's not just when you're selling something. I was on stage 3 times last week. And one of those 3 times, I felt like something was off. And I couldn't put my finger on it. And I record a lot of my sessions. And I listened back through the session and I watched and I said, you know what? It was my energy. My energy was not as powerful, as animated as it normally is. Something was a little flatter. And I could feel it in the audience. So either I was affected by the energy that was around me, or I affected the energy that was around me, right? Because it's symbiotic relationship.
It is. It's a give and take. And so it can go both ways. And
it's anywhere in our life. I just want to point that out for everybody who's listening. It's everywhere in our life. It's not only if you're selling, it's if you're having a meeting and you're just in a regular meeting at work, or it's happening in your relationships with your kids or with your spouse. Energy is everything, right? How many people, there's this whole thing where you get in a fight when you walk in the door because everybody's energy is in different places. And so you're responsible for your energy.
It's funny because you say not just selling. It could be talking to your kids or talking to your spouse or at work in a meeting. In fact, all of those places, you're selling.
That's
because
true.
If you're sharing an idea, not selling somebody on some idea. If you're working with your kids and you're communicating and you're trying to influence them in a certain way to be a certain person and to take care of their room or whatever it might be, you're selling them on another idea.
Yeah.
So whether it's leadership or a meeting or at home, you are constantly selling in your life every moment. Whether you're selling yourself on an idea, whether I have to sell myself to get my little Fanny to the gym, right?
Absolutely. We are. We're selling to ourselves and we're selling to others all the time. So we might as well embrace it, right? Embrace it and know what drives a successful outcome.
Exactly. And one of the things that you said about speeding up time, being efficient, not only do you pay attention to your energy, and if you need to shift it, but when you have clarity, when you are very clear on where you're going, if you see the end result of what it is that you want to happen, whether it's an interaction with your partner, the interaction with your kids, the meeting at work like you talked about, or an interaction with someone who you want to provide your services or products to. When you have a very clear goal in mind, very clarity of intention is how I would say it. You know what the best outcome could ever be, and you state that or you think about that, that also speeds up the time frame.
Absolutely. And that clarity, as you're saying, that's also directing your energy, right? Is
directing your energy.
You're directing it. So, because I talk about that in terms of your time management. So before you sit down for any task, whether it's a conversation that you're having around sales product or service, or it's just getting something done, is to set an intention for that time frame of, okay, what can I accomplish in this 30 minutes or this hour's time frame, and be clear on your intention of where you're going to focus, right? So it's the same kind of thing. It's just giving you that focus so that your energy stays aligned to what it is that you want, and then you get there faster.
I see it like a laser. If our energy and our ideas are all over the place, but if you focus it, like you're saying, and you direct it right to where you're going and what result you want to have, you're laser-like with your clarity and your intention, you're going to get things done in a very short period of time. You read my bio. I was over 1,000% of quota for 13 years. All of my cohorts worked 8, 10, 12 hours a day. I worked about 4 or 5.
That's great. And that's because of these techniques, right?
Yes. And that's what I call the magic.
That's the magic. That's the magic, is being able to do it in 4 hours instead of 8.
That's the magic.
That's awesome. Well, I understand that you also have a program around teaching people. Like, do you have something like that where people can find out more information about how they can get in touch with you?
Yes, we have a Sales Magic, a couple series of different classes. And the best way to get a hold of me is to go in and apply for a strategy session where I can help you see where do you need help around sales. And the easiest way to do that is to go to salesmagicmakeover.com. Very short little application, and I'll answer you and we can have a great chat.
Perfect. Well, that's great. Before I let you go, tell the listeners something personal about you that they can connect to why this is important to you.
I have a passion for helping women. That's one of the things that I have a passion for. When I was in sales, I was a single mom. And when I was over 1,000% of quota, that allowed me to buy a house, take my child on trips. It allowed me to get up and leave the office and if my kid fell down and skinned his knee. So it's the freedom, and it's not necessarily just for women, but it's the freedom that it gives you when you can help other people get what they want and what they need and what they dream about. It not only fills you up, but it gives you this freedom to explore more opportunities in your life. And that's something I'm really passionate about.
Awesome. And what's one of the biggest challenges that you've had that you've overcome?
I actually had my financial advisor steal my life savings. And that was a big one.
That's a big one. And so was that also a driver in this where you said,
That was the turning point. Yes.
Holy cannolis, I got to work and do this in 4 hours so that I can get my money back.
Not only that, a lot of times we have our self-worth wrapped up in our net worth.
Yes.
And that doesn't do you any good. We are all amazing beings, and however much money you have or you make or whatever your product or you're selling, none of that makes any difference towards who you are. We are magnificent beings. We're all geniuses in our own right. And I love to help people find their genius and go towards their dream and make their lives more fulfilling.
Was that one of your challenges? Because I had that same challenge where I had early success in my career, like big time, major. And then I switched careers and sort of started at ground zero again. And it was very humbling. Like I did have that, whatever you want to call it, that complex of feeling like, okay, now I'm not making the money. And so I'm not worthy, or having that lack of confidence because of that. And I know that was something that I had to overcome. Is that what happened in that process? Is that you?
Exactly. I got the rug ripped out from underneath me, and I toppled for a couple years, and I got to know who I am and what I love and what I'm passionate about. And I'm passionate about people. I love being in relationship with people and helping them achieve their dreams. And it took me a little bit to figure that out. And that was definitely the catalyst.
Well, that's great.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. This was fun.
And for all of you listening, thank you for being here. Yes, we all have challenges in our beliefs that tell us we're not enough, that create fear, that make us want to reach that goal in desperation. And the truth is, you're worth it. And all you need to do is bring that energy from within. You said love people. So just love on the people that you're selling, care about them, want them to have more, and just be bringing the energy, the intention, the clarity that is going to help you be more successful, to shorten that sales cycle and double your sales at the same time. That's how you take back time. Thank you all, and we'll see you in the next episode. My name is Penny Zanker, and this is Take Back Time.
Thank you for listening. Today's topic is another opportunity for you to put the knowledge you learned into practice. Tune in again next week for more strategies that will help you have more energy and focus to get more done in less time, so you can continue to take back time.